Okay, back to the channel, second video in Austin. I put together a second fantasy football team. That was before I ended up making the trip to Austin on this. A typical 10-team ESPN league off of it. And just the entirety of the roster on it that I do think came out pretty well. But going off of the entire draft of it, I ended up having the third pick overall, to where previous draft I picked Bijan Robinson first round. I didn't want to grab him again on it, so just to change it up, grabbing Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is my top receiver, and then be able to get on the 2-3 turn of Chase Brown and Bucky Irving off of it. I do think this ended up turning out pretty well. Surprisingly, getting Trey McBride as a 4th round pick. I figured it's like I was only going to get Brown or Irving, but it's like where I really only have the gap of 2 separate teams between running backs. Brown and Irving, ADP off of it were right next to each other, so be able to have them as my top 2 running backs and be able to get McBride off of it turned out pretty well. Travion Henderson likely going to end up being the starter as a rookie for the majority of the season at New England. Their returning starter hasn't really shown an abundant amount of success, so I do think this is going to be turning out well. And then having a second receiver as Jackson Smith and Jigba, and then picking up Bo Nix towards the end as one of the last couple of the quarterbacks that's going to have a decent shot of having a good mobile running game off of it. I do think that ended up being good value. Now, as the team name is a total, my plan was doing nix it all, buck the trend, chase for Jameis. What? Really? But yeah, at this point, ESPN did not let me do the entire name off of it, so nix it all, chase for Jameson. And then yeah, rest of the team. Yes, I understand it looks crazy me having JJ McCarthy, but I basically punted quarterbacks out instead of quarterback ended up being the last of my main stars I was going for, so having McCarthy as a backup doesn't seem that crazy. Now, my receivers, I feel like that's nuts, getting Tedero McMillan as my 3rd receiver, getting Ricky Pearsall and Jamison Williams. Like, this team feels like it's legit. Yes, getting Zach Ertz on the roster, Ja'Cory Crosby-Merritt. Both of those Washington Commanders, like, I don't know. With Crosby-Merritt, I don't know how soon he's going to be a full factor on it. Hopefully once Brown and Irving end up getting onto their bye week, which for Brown, let me even take a look at this one. Okay, yeah, Brown's not until week 12. And then Irving, not till week 11, so yeah. Like, while I would kind of prefer having more running backs on the roster, well, actually, no, I can't really complain. It's 5 running backs, 5 receivers, good balance. I didn't worry about getting a backup defense, backup kicker. Those 2 are just going to be whatever ends up being available during the week that Loop and the Seahawks defense have a bye. So we'll see how this goes. I do feel pretty good off of this. This ended up being a team that I was 3rd last year. It's a revamp from last year's team that I set up, but I'm commissioned off of this. We'll see how this goes.